Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Random Encounters. I'm your host for the evening, Kiara_TV. It's nice to see you all. It's nice to meet you all. And we are joined here by the one and only Kyoslilmonster, who's going to be bringing us a showcase of Final Fantasy 15. And Kios, I've been looking at this. I've been thinking about this, and I intentionally did not go and I looked a little bit in some streams, but I intentionally did not go and watch a full run here because I see this estimate. This is a huge, gigantic RPG that is, a lot of people dozens upon dozens and dozens of hours. And like, I'm looking at this estimate of 30 minutes. I'm like, what? Hang on. Wait. What? Are you kidding me?
I mean, it should be 45, but
or 45. Yeah. Well, you know. You're gonna clear it.
I'll do my best.
Good at keeping.
I'll do my best.
Keeping the timers where we expect them to be. So.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, listen. I live to please. I think.
Awesome.
Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Yeah, before we get into this, I do want to remind everybody that, RPG Limit Break is right around the corner, less than a month away, which, I'm so excited to go there and see everybody again. And but importantly, registration closes today. So if you have not been there or gone and registered yet, make sure you don't put it off any longer. Go ahead and do it today. So that way you can reserve your seats and just have an amazing good time over in Denver at our new location. But Hyos, how ready are you here to crush your PB, get a new world record right here live? No.
I wish I was feeling that good about it, but I honestly the current world record is. It's just so impressive. It's a Japanese runner by the name of Rial, and it's about 2 minutes faster than my PB. But for me, I've been honestly working on more the consistency aspect of the run. So because what good is a run to showcase if you can't finish it, or it's a huge gamble. But yeah, it's been really cool. I had the opportunity to run this at AGDQ in 2024, and it was the first time that had been there. And since then, we've knocked another almost 30 minutes off of it. Which
how? I'm just so excited to see how you break this game open.
Yeah. Well, I can say I did watch several runs, and this is completely different than what was at AGDQ. Like the round is almost entirely new.
Yeah, thank you for keeping this mostly spoiler free since I have yet to play FF15. It's on my list. It's gonna come eventually, but
well, here's the fun part. With the speed run, because one, we skip cutscenes, and two, we literally skip like 90% of the game. It's as spoiler free as a speed run can be, to be honest.
Great. All right, Kyos, are you ready to go here?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and give us a countdown in whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm like surrounded by screens right now. This is lovely. All right. So it's going to be a new game. It is going to be on normal. And in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. Thank you. And like Kiara said, register to go to Limit Break. Unfortunately, I will not be there this event due to life being life. I know we all understand that. But if you have the opportunity, please go. It is it is honestly, like, I hate to overuse the word, but it is such a comfy environment. Like, it is, if you've been to a GDQ and you understand like the hype and the hustle and bustle, it still has that sense of fun and community, but like a very, very much more relaxed environment. Like, it's just really cool. It's like honestly hanging out with like a bunch of your best friends.
It really is.
I hate to interrupt this awesome cozy talk, but the video feed I'm getting from you is just looping the main title screen right now, which is fun. Okay. I'm getting the audio. I can hear the Ifrit fight, but I'm seeing still the main title screen, which is great.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got going on here.
All right, time to get the play-by-play via voice. Oh my God, he's on fire. Wait, okay, good. You put out the fire, powdered it down, use the best, the best, techniques. Pat it all out. There's more fire and even more fire.
How would you like me to attempt to fix this, Ashton?
That's a very good question. I don't even know what's wrong, so that's fun. I'm assuming that it's looking correct on your OBS, so that's who even knows.
Yeah.
No one's ever had issues like this before, right?
Yeah.
No, not all the time.
You know what? In honor of my my stream, do we want to just throw in a first reset just to be
to keep
it on,
probably
all right, yeah. Let's go.
I'm thinking what we want to have happen here is a stream cycle, honestly, just betwixt. You just cut off the OBS and resend the OBS, and then hopefully that does it.
Yep. Okay. You want me to refresh the capture OBS on my side?
Yeah, if you would.
Absolutely.
Also, fun fact, as soon as I swapped to this 3-up screen here while we're doing our troubleshooting, it finally caught up. The video finally caught up, and I saw him load it. That's not correct.
Right.
That's not correct.
Listen, everybody, we're just letting people get in, who may have not woken up early enough to be here.
Exactly.
It's going to be great. It's going to be perfectly fine.
Listen, I'm not worried. I only finish 10% of runs that I start, so we're just putting it on track,
Yeah.
And honestly, you can blame me because tech issues follow me literally everywhere. If anybody from my chat is here right now, they will vouch. They will know. It's like, Ashton, it's not your fault. It's my fault.
Too many things around. That's not what that's supposed to look like at all. That's supposed to be there. You're supposed to be here.
Congratulations on being Ashen now.
Here. Yeah, yep.
I'm me. Oh no, VTubers are literally taking over.
Yeah, I was like, when is the Ashen VTuber going to be coming along? And because we got Kyos here, we got me here.
Dude,
yeah,
this
is actually a brand new outfit that I gotta showcase just yesterday, hot off the press, just for you all.
I actually got some cute clothes in recently. Just I had to make some stylistic choices. So
what we could do is we could get Ashen a PNG tuber, right? But it's just Ashen. Like it looks just like you, just like a stylized anime version of you.
See,
we could put like a little anime mixer there. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
All right, chat, get to it. You know what to do. But chat, how are you all doing today? Hopefully you're ready for some FF15.
Okay.
Makoto is here. She wants us to come to Brazil.
Oh, yeah. I've never been to Brazil.
I have never been either, but my experiences with it are I would like to go there and go fishing. Not Anthony Bourdain.
Fishing and
Jeremy Wade has been to Brazil so many times, and he made me kind of fall in love with like the nature of it.
Yeah.
Greetings.
Hello.
Okay.
Who would have thought 15 has technical issues?
Right.
Yeah. Let's listen. It's perfectly fine.
I'm literally surprised.
I'm seeing video again. Let's ask you to just kind of click through a couple of menus real quick and see if it's
fiddle around
properly there or not. I'm seeing it now. I'm not hearing it. That's not good either.
There we go.
That one's my fault.
Let's reverse direction.
That one I know. That one I fixed now. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. Thank you all for watching.
Honestly impressive.
Tech problems in process. I feel like that's just kind of like the subtitle of Random Encounters, unfortunately. But I think we're good now.
What will go wrong today? Yes.
Here, fine. I'll put on my glass. We'll all wear glasses. It'll be a good time.
Okay.
There we go. Absolutely.
All right. So we'll try it again.
Do
we want to fix the estimate, or do we want to make me look bad?
I mean, I can
I mean, we're just gonna.
How fixed do you want the estimate to be? I can go up to like 7 or 8 hours if you wanted to. No.
Honestly, I think we should be able to do this in 45, unless something incredibly catastrophic happens. 45's comfy enough.
Yeah. All right. Estimate updated. We're ready to go again. Thank you all.
All right. Alrighty. Okay. We'll do it again. We'll do it. Well, sorry.
You
we'll do it for the first
Discord screen share once more?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Unless that's what broke it.
I don't
think so. I think it was my side. So that's. I was turning off a bunch of things that I usually have.
Oh my god, I shouldn't get it together.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
I shouldn't have the folding at home going on the streaming computer. That's all I'm saying.
Listen. All right, let's just. I'm waiting for confirmation. Okay, cool. We are looking good. We have everything. Don't worry. This is what happens. We have when you have 27,000 things being captured. But in a 3, 2, 1, we'll do it again.
Good luck for the first time today.
Yeah.
I will not have to give the play-by-play action, but I think fire is involved here at the start. I'm going to put out some fire.
It is.
Just a little bit.
And the eagle-eyed viewers at home will notice that there are a bunch of things up in the top right corner. So part of what we have done to save another 30 minutes on this run is we figured out that you can make simultaneous inputs with mouse and keyboard and controller.
Oh.
Uh-huh. And I don't know, the best way to describe it is it sure is a video game of all time, but the interesting thing is, and I think maybe it's just because with this game I've come to like really learn and dig through it and have a chance to talk to the devs, is it's so easy nowadays to just be like, oh yeah, devs were dumb, game's so broken. But like the lengths that you have to go to get the game to this state is honestly incredible because of how surprisingly well the game is coded. Like there's so many things we have to do, and the only reason is, well, if we don't do it this way, the game soft locks because it like basically security checks itself. But
sorry, I was laughing there. You just skipping and hopping into an explosion. Like, just that visual was fantastic.
The fun parts of modern gaming. Basically, with this game, we've done a lot of movement testing. Even Ashton remembers back in the early day, before any of these glitches were discovered, we were, a lot of it was how can we get from point A to point B faster? So there was hours of testing of like, what is realistically the fastest movement? And the answer is warp striking. And when you can't warp strike, you jump. For some reason, with like the way the Luminous engine works, that is just the most efficient form of travel that you have.
Which is ridiculous because you have infinite sprint in this game, but still jumping is faster.
Yep. This is one of those games, like, it's been so interesting, I think, for a lot of us, where if you played it when it came out on launch day, and turned it on today, it's like two completely different games.
Yeah.
Like characters are the same, plot's 90% the same, but like the way it functions is just entirely different.
Wow.
A lot of patches. And then of course the Royal Edition and the Windows Edition, which is actually what's
so which one of your boys is the favorite, Kiara?
You're hitting me with a question like this right out the gate?
Yes. Do you want big, beefy, muscle, stretchy pants? Do you want I don't think I can say that word on this stream. English chef or emo prince?
The one who is pushing the right side because he reminds me of you.
Thanks.
Didn't expect that, did you, Kios?
Compliments. My only true allergy. I actually started showcasing the DLC for it, and his side story is really, really cool. All right, so now that we've done our intro and we've got our licensed music, making sure that we can't monetize this video, we'll welcome everybody into the world of EOS, and we're going to meet one of our lovely characters. This is Cindy. Everybody say hi, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
She's, yeah. I see your eye tracking, Kiara. I'm calling you a jerk. But Cindy basically just gave us the most important thing, and that's the ability to use the map. And I really haven't workshopped the intro to this, but I'm already just going to start breaking the game.
Just kind of underneath the map right now.
What we're going to do is we are going to glitch the game into a state called temporary menu glitch. If you have ever played this game, you shouldn't have the pause screen up while you're interacting with things.
Nope.
This is kind of a byproduct of from what we've learned. If you go into first person mode and open up the camera and very quickly go into the game's options and change the FPS settings, it forces the game to kind of reset and reload the graphics, and kind of relocates you to a 0 position. And basically, again, like I said, I'm really kind of workshopping how to cram all of this in properly. But what this now allows us to do, as long as I don't quit out or, load a game, is we can open the menu and move while we have the menu open. And you might say to yourself, well, what's kind of the point of that? Wow, you can open up the menu and move at the same time. Well, the interesting thing, and I've found with a lot of modern games, is when you have a menu open, the game tends to try and deload as many assets as possible. Because performance. We all know nowadays how difficult and big games are, and you need the greatest 9,000 plus series graphics card to run your 27 tera gigaflops. So the result of this, because the game has basically been placed in a state where it doesn't, we shouldn't be able to move or do anything. It doesn't actually update a lot of things. So right now we have basically none of the textures loaded in besides just assets. I have the ability to basically infinitely warp strike as long as I don't use more than my allotted amount of MP. And all I have to do is refresh. And now you'll notice why we have an extra numpad going is I have set the ability to warp strike, accept menu, and close menu onto a numbered pad because it's just more efficient. I'm holding the controller with one hand, adjusting the angle with my mouth, and basically we're just straight up ignoring everything in the game. So far we've talked to Cindy, she's given us a map, and we're now making our way to get chocobos, which will be explained at some point.
Oh, hey, we got higher res textures here. Let's go.
Yeah.
No longer in PS1 mode. Now we're in PS2 mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have played this game casually, or even if you've done the old no ring speed runs, getting 2 chocobos this early is very early. It's very early.
Yeah.
I also want to call out quickly just some minor optimizations that just kind of get lost in the fact that we're in this awesome glitch and shifting someplace we shouldn't be. Kios also just changed Noctis's outfit because it matters what outfit you're wearing throughout the speed run.
It does?
Each outfit gives you a different buff.
Really?
Yeah.
So silly. Your armor is just you're gonna look, a different kind of dapper,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one thing I noticed about this game is you don't really have traditional RPG armor, do you?
No.
Not really in that sense.
You're just handsome.
It is.
And you better like all black.
Yep.
Excuse me. There are non-black
options.
options.
Wiz. Wiz is a good guy. Wiz is going to allow us to skip 90% of the game. But here's the other big thing. And I wish there was like kind of a more dramatic fanfare over it. The game gets really, really confused when you change things when you're in a cutscene, particularly the inventory.
If you could bring the beast down, there'd be a reward in it for you.
And the more... Oh, oof. All right. Well, I should.
All right. So how do you have Ragnarok already? I think I missed this part. I was so
that is
distraught
a free
with
DLC,
around.
Basically. I do hope I didn't mess this up. I accidentally double tapped, but I think we should be okay. So Ragnarok with this run, we basically, because like there's the Royal Edition and then okay, yeah, we're still good. The Royal Edition and the Windows Edition, it basically when they all came out, the consensus within the speedrun community was, well, let's just make them the same. So like if the Windows Edition has a like for free, let's make it so it's allowed, just so you don't have like 27 different categories based on technicalities of what you start the game with. Let's just level playing field. So you did see that I equipped some things, but what is currently equipped to my character is not what I selected in the inventory. Because I had a dagger, and a handgun. So now I have Pain of the Vortex, which is a collaboration event weapon that I have no business having. A Gabolg, the Mutant Roscatia Blade, and the Plumes of the Vortex, which are also, weapons that you can only get by doing ridiculously long side quests against like a super boss. So
yeah, just randomly we're going to just grab the Final Fantasy 14 stuff and just kind of pull it into this level 1 character that's only been going for 10 minutes.
Yep.
This is great. I'm glad I did not watch this.
So the interesting thing with the game is, again, based on best knowledge, the weapons are stored in basically a table format. And when you sort the weapons like I did while a menu is open, it basically just shuffles things down, corollary to how many two-handed swords you have, because it just stacks them in the inventory. So I took what I had and shifted them all by 4. And because there is 4 daggers between dagger and Pain of the Vortex, that's kind of what I got on deck right now.
Oh my god.
We're going to go visit our friend Deadeye here because we really need these chocobos. And because everything is just really, really bent out of shape right now, Deadeye is just not going to actually move or do it.
Oh yeah, the AI is just broken. It hasn't
But also look at these damage numbers.
Part of
this
that
is what you get with
I
those.
know.
We're not
level 1
supposed
character.
to be here.
No, it is nice how much is tied to your weapon that allows you to do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Versus like, other games that are hard coded where it's like, yeah, if you're not like within 5 levels or something looking at you, Xenoblade, then you just will not damage the boss at all. You'll just miss everything.
The only downside of entering the arena the way we do is because we're not supposed to be there. And I use something called ZCB, or a zero camera bug, to kind of shove the party through some invisible walls. Yeah, we didn't even get to touch on that. Once you enter that fight, you actually don't have control over Noctis. Like, I can't direct him, like, physically. So we have to roll and then use the camera to kind of very quickly aim where we want to go while we're rolling. And again, don't know why. I assume it's just like some sort of, hey, you're not supposed to be here, soft lock. But now that that's done, we're going to go and visit Wiz again and tell him, hey, we took care of your big old Deadeye problem. Perhaps maybe don't put your chocobo ranch near a giant behemoth cave, I guess. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bud. Sorry. But yeah, now that we've done a save and load, we are back to our normal inventory. Everything's back to normal. There's no glitches. There's no silly business going on. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. I promise I'm done. I'm not done. Yeah, the daggers are pretty ridiculous. If I recall, they give you like 200 strength. One interesting thing is the daggers are supposed to have the same thing, the same mechanic that the air step sword has, which is half price warp strikes while you're in the air. But for some reason, when we shuffle over to them, it gives us all of the stat bonuses, all the damage bonuses, the warp strike bonus, but it doesn't give us the half cost. And I don't think we've ever figured out why that one particular thing just doesn't transfer over during the weapon swap glitch. So I'm going to get me chocobos. And I've had enough of this, so we're going to go back to the start of the game. Yeah, the exosuits are cheat mode, but to be honest, we don't even technically wear them in this run anymore. Like, it's kind of at that point where it doesn't even matter. So we're gonna rest up with the boys. We're definitely, just gonna hang out with the boys in this camper. Nothing strange going on. Just resting, playing some cards.
Yeah.
So you'll say, now what? Congratulations. We have a chocobo. We have normal weapons. We're about 16 minutes into the run. How are you? Well, we have another fun glitch. This one's been around. If you've seen the run before, you should know about AMG, which is basically like kind of a more permanent version of what we had going earlier, where we trick the game into thinking that it's permanently paused. And I'm going to do that with a little bit of in-game trickery. So what we're doing here is we're resting at camp, and you'll notice that I have only 1 day left of my chocobo. Well, by golly, my rental period has ended.
Oh, no.
Well, that's a shame.
No. There's going to be no way to fix that, is there?
Well, the problem is the game did that while it was loading. So as far as the game knows, I'm still stuck in that loading screen.
Gosh.
And by now, I can just eat. And once I get out of this interaction with Taka, we used to have so many setups for AMG that involved, not getting into combat. And the first combat that you get into, you get hit out of it at night, and then you have to escape. There were so many weird technicalities, and being able to streamline it down to just get a menu to pop up while you're in a loading screen and you can set it is honestly the most wonderful thing. It's super smooth. We're good to go. I am going to sell off these last couple of things once I stop having weird input lag. And then I am going to buy 4 more two-handed swords. And we are going to call our friend the Chocobo. And very quickly, I am going to just grab 1 ability here. And we're going to
take
one
ability we need.
Oh, we need more. This is just the weird little intricacies. So we're going to take a long stroll with our Chocobo friend here. And at the same time, I'm going to start filling in some abilities we need. There's Air Step and Change Fury, as well as Warp Factor. So those basically are just going to increase our damage with Warp Strikes and attacks. I've also grabbed Regroup and Enhancement. Enhancement, I think, is legitimately the most single powerful ability in the game.
It is so good.
What it does is it gives Ignis the ability to give you elemental damage related to the enemy's weakness. I'm actually going to break from tradition here, and just for safety's sake, I'm going to put the stamina badge on. So our damage is going to be a little bit lower, but it's going to cover me in case we have anything weird happen during the final boss sequences. But yes, I learned a new trick. So now, including the spacebar, we can do our jump dashes with the chocobo and glide and slide. So this has just become a very, very silly game of how optimal can you make it? And the answer is, I don't think we've hit rock bottom yet, really.
Mm-hmm. Still more to discover, I'm sure.
Oh, listen, people are like, well, how do you find so much stuff in 15, 20-year-old games? So look at modern ones. Trust me, we're still chipping away. All right.
Yeah, we still are finding ways to save time in NES games after all the time. So even with the most popular games.
Yep.
It's really neat. Oh, I'll sidetrack us, because don't worry, we're not missing anything here. I'm just going on a leisurely stroll.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I think it was. I forget who exactly it was, but they were requesting timings for the CPUs for NES, because as the console ages, it technically speeds up because of like the harmonic frequencies of the silicon or quartz that's in the CPUs.
Yeah,
that's actually incredible.
I forget who was. I think it may have been the Tazbot people were requesting information on it, like as a community kind of sourced thing, which is freaking cool. Like, legitimately, it's freaking cool. At the same point, like, in terms of, yes, if you're really into speedruns, it presents a problem of like,
what degree of difference are we gonna see here?
Some people were reporting processor speeds like being up like 20-30 hertz, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're talking about a NES game, like, that's actually a quantifiable difference.
Mm-hmm. I do love how the game preserves collision throughout all of this.
Yeah,
I know sometimes it kind of like makes this run possible, huh? Like, imagine if the collision did not load. Out here. There's many games where you go out of bounds just like this, and then you'll start going through mountains and nothing you can interact with. But the important stuff is there.
Well, and interestingly, there were a few mountains that he just walked through.
Okay, well, listen.
Back here, so it's like.
Listen.
Why did they put it here but not there? But we're thankful they did, because it makes this possible.
Yeah.
As far as I can guess, this scene, like this area that we're in, is used in a lot of like flyover background shots in cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe this area was initially meant to be explorable and they just kind of, decided not to. And just kind of, well, what's the point of like deleting all the work then? It's already there. And like collision meshes, it's not like those are incredibly demanding, so you may as well just kind of leave it in there. It's more work to rip it all out.
Yeah, as we're going, this reminds me of a funny story. So there's real-time time of day, right? It doesn't force the time of day for specific cutscenes, or does it?
Correct.
Yeah. So I was watching my brother play this, and there's like this big thing where they're talking about this huge scenic vista and how awesome it all is. But like it happened to take place in like the middle of the night, and you couldn't see anything.
Can't see anything.
Yeah, you couldn't see anything at all. So like the character's like, whoa, so good. And it's like, well, yeah, I wish I could see this.
It looks great, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we are actually making our way through a very interesting area. I wish I could give credit to. I assume it would probably be like the first people who really started cracking down the New Game Plus run. But we are taking our chocobo and we're going to go on a little swim. So the whole reason that we got the chocobo is, despite the fact that Noctis is an avid fisherman, Apparently Homeboy can't swim. Or maybe it's one of the other party members that can't swim. Gladio can probably swim. Ignis probably just doesn't like being wet.
That wouldn't surprise me, actually.
It is a shame.
But we're going to hop off our bird here, and we are going to, because we have the ability to, we're going to glitch over and enter the save menu while we're riding the Chocobo. So now we have about 4 minutes, maybe a little bit less, I think, where I'm just going to aim at that particular little...
We got 4 minutes to fill Kios. How would we ever do that?
Roughly 3 or 4 minutes.
I do want to say, first off, the fact that the Chocobo theme changes when you're swimming is fantastic. Also, when I played this casually...
It's subtle. I love it.
It took me longer than is reasonable to realize that you could swim with the Chocobos.
Me too. The game doesn't really kind of tell you that.
So I probably
I love
had
this song. It's great.
100+ hours in the game before the first time I was like, oh, wait, I can swim?
Well, you know, that would be something I would have missed. But now, whenever I do play through this, I'll remember that. Oh, so, okay. So Kios, what do you recommend the 27-part guide to Final Fantasy 15 in terms of all the different stories and books and movies and comics and side things? So I think there's this little Steam review. I'm not sure if you've seen it that says, "Okay, to fully enjoy FF15, you have to follow these steps," and it covers like 18 different pieces of media and everything that you gotta go, because they split this up into so many different things, different DLCs and books. And
this was like one of the first experiments, I think, of like the concept of making a game and then a TV show to follow it. So like, if you think of like things like Cyberpunk and The Last of Us, how they're really highly regarded, definitely learned from the mistakes that 15 made. But for me, honestly, I think just turning the game on and just kind of wandering around and figuring out what you want to do is like the fun part of it. Like this map is huge, and it's not like the whole like, oh, this map is huge, but there's nothing in it. Like the game, thankfully, procedurally will like have spawn locations. So you're not just walking around for 5 minutes at a time and there's like nothing. You know, there will be like cool little objects. You can find paint chips for the car. Oh yeah, we get a car. Yeah. We don't get it in this run. There's photo quests, there's fishing, there's so much fun stuff to do in this game. And to be honest, you can probably pick it up for like $10 nowadays. Cool. I have now loaded into the void. I will stare into the void, and the void will come to me.
The void will stare back.
The void does stare back. So all of this, everything, getting the weapons, getting Deadeye, has basically been in the quest of one very long and convoluted wrong warp. So where we saved for some reason is the load-in point for the Royal Edition, which is weird because we're on PC. It's already bundled in, but we get a pop-up that it loads in. So we've now gone from chapter 1 and we are loading into the final chapter of the game.
Wait, what? Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, we just basically are wrong warping to the load-in point for the end of the game.
Is that why we needed to get to that specific spot?
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Which, strangely enough, is basically like the spot that you went to on the map is basically where you are in this chapter, or at least nearby. So, you know, there's some theming there.
But yes, this area, I think we're at level 8. You're not really supposed to be here at level 8. Like, is it doable? At level 1, yeah, I've done tons of level 1 runs, but like that also includes having a lot of really cool food buffs, really, you know, high-end weapons, and right now we're just sitting with our inventory as it is, our stats as they are, and am going to try and get into combat here just so we can get this point warp. Good, I can get that dialogue box out of the way, and much like we were doing earlier, I'm going to enter this cutscene with my menu open, and we are going to do some silly business, where I'm going to glitch not only my inventory to get those daggers that I had earlier back, because, you know, fastest damage we can do.
Look at those damage numbers.
But I've also confused the game technically of what outfit I'm wearing. So as far as the game knows, I am wearing 2 outfits at once, which is not something one can do, obviously. I mean, you can do it.
Well, hold on. Just hold on here. I've seen enough anime outfits of you wearing 2 things at once.
Listen, I've seen some anime outfits that I've worn, and, you know, thank God my dad doesn't have that much internet access. Well, the core always comes in and just grunts right on you. Like, bro, personal space. But now we have a little bit of a walk and talk with Core. There is going to be a quick, bright flash, so if you're a little bit photosensitive, do take care really quickly. But I have to get one more ability here, which is Death Drop. So on that side of the... of that tree, we have 2 abilities called Air Step and Death Drop. Air Step is going to give us the ability to attack while we're in midair, which is really cool. Obviously, we like that. We like being able to attack in midair because that helps keep us up. Oops. And Death Drop allows us to gain a little bit of MP if we attack. Oh wait, no, that's the other one. Death Drop allows us to do a different set of aerial attacks, which is pretty interesting. We'll need that for something later. I'll get to it when we get there. We're gonna go upstairs and talk to Yosef, who has an unfortunately receding hairline, but you know what? He's rocking it. Yosef is really important. So what Yosef is going to do is actually unlock a quest for us that we're going to need. I'm going to grab Hyperion because I need something that do the damage. I'm going to get the same vending machine twice, apparently. And I'm going to grab just a handful of ethers. I'll need them for later. And I'm going to select them in the menu. So now what we're going to do is we've basically been given the task of we can destroy these Imperial bases. Well, that's a side quest. This isn't any % speedrun. We're just going to leave those alone. But what we're going to do is we are going to make our way to what should be the final boss kind of gauntlet. You're going to have two boss fights. You climb the citadel and you fight some more bosses. And because we have AMG, I can now do the MP refresh trick again, just as like we did with the start of the game, which is really nice.
Oh, that's a big sword. Yeah, good thing you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I love a lot of the enemy designs in this game. They're pretty vibrant. So this is our 3-headed dog friend Cerberus, and what I am looking to do is to topple the dog. This is a doggo that is not being a very good doggo, and unfortunately that means I need to be a little aggressive with it. But what we want to do is we want to try and knock him over, just like this. I would have hoped to do it a little bit earlier, and I am now just gonna whittle through the HP of phase 1. We're gonna heal up there, get our MP up, and Ignis is going to give us enhancement. And you'll notice our damage is already pretty high. We're doing 2,000-3,000 damage in attack. Now it is going to skyrocket because, well, as we have these really nifty ice-infused blades, we're fighting a doggo that is on fire. So, you know how RPG weaknesses and elements work.
I love how cinematic they make them.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
jump 200 feet in the air. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all in the magic. This is unfortunately a little bit slow. We're just gonna kind of live with it. It's whatever. I've decided that this should be more of a showcase and a little bit of a tutorial and fun thing as opposed to look at how fast I can go. Because, like I said, still kind of working on the consistency. And this is where things can get a little rough. Our next boss, in the true kind of Guy Ritchie cinematic style, we're gonna basically the intro of the game. You're kind of starting at the end and you work your way back. We are now at the end.
Oh my god, spoilers.
What did they have instead of Cerberus? It was actually a Behemoth King.
I can.
It wasn't like a cinematic fight like
Yeah.
that, but it was just there was a like kind of a Behemoth King in front of the gate that you had to get through, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this entire chapter was completely reworked for the Royal Edition and Windows Edition. So it went from like a 3-minute just kind of get through this pathway to an actual area that you can explore and has side quests and such in it.
All right. So now, instead of loading out, we're just gonna take this boss fight. You know, of course, as it is. You know.
Oh my god, it's the guy from the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, oh my goodness.
I generally really don't have words for this segment yet because this is the one that I have to finish. But
Well, I have words. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw this at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2.
whoa, that's
Yeah.
incorrect. Game. Let's try this again.
So these point warp
This
spots.
is exactly that.
Yeah, these point warp
You
spots.
fought the guy in
that
the chair,
exist-
right, Ashen?
That exist around the map. These are spots that Noctis can jump to refill his MP. And they just kind of give you a tactical advantage. They're placed around the maps in order to give you a bit of a tactical advantage. And then what Kios is doing now is he's actually kind of bouncing off of, using those ascension points that we talked about earlier. He's bouncing off of Ifrit up here, trying to get himself a little bit higher on the map to where he can get, you kind of saw a glimpse of it there.
Well, I know where we got to go. It's just a question of will the game let me at this point now.
I believe in you. Even if the game does not.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it another shot here. Like I said, this section can get a little finicky. Basically, what we're doing is with the abilities that we grabbed, and ping-ponging off of Ifrit, like Ashen said, is I'm actually gaining height. And the reason for that is there is a hole up here in the throne room that at the end of the game, this is the last place you warp strike out of. And what I am trying to do is load my characters into the wall.
Oh my gosh.
So we have now completely circumvented. Yeah, it was almost first try. I grabbed the wrong character. It was a gamble on if it was Ignis or Prompto.
Yeah.
But what I've now done is loaded us into the back end of the throne room. So we
That's so
shouldn't be
cool.
here. Yep. Okay, so I have my party. Now what I want to do is I want to get them up here on this little kind of rotunda area. Specifically, I want Ignis. Now, one of the cool things about Ignis's ability is it's very similar to Gladio's, is that it pulls your character to Ignis's location. So if I warp strike back outside,
What?
and I get Ifrit to come over here.
Yeah, you're still just having a good time out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this might
Could
be
be around for-
because I think Ignis is locked, but let me see if I can. No, I cannot. Okay, so this might be messy. Let me see if I can just reset everything. Okay, so the big issue right there was because I guessed wrong earlier. I didn't have access to Ignis, so I tried to come up with something that would make it work. It wouldn't. That's on me. Again, trying to hammer out the inconsistencies. So if you miss it the first time, let's do it again. Just because it's easier to do a full setup as opposed to try and band-aid this. Because the game's already ridiculously upset enough that we're doing stuff that we really shouldn't be doing. So just consider it good practice.
I love when you come out of the menus and that
There
it's just
go.
like
Okay, we'll do it again.
we'll play all the sounds
definitely
all at
have
the same
Gladio
time.
up there.
Yeah,
And
I've been wondering what that was.
This is the reason why I wore what?
What?
Thank you. We'll do it. We'll do it this way then.
Huh?
Again, game can get finicky about some things. The reason I wore the stamina badge is normally we don't do that, and we just have damage. But the stamina badge gives us the ability to kind of hang indefinitely from point warps, and the process would be incredibly slowed if I had to redo this twice, like I have done. So, okay, we have the entire party here. I have the ability to use enhancement with Ignis. I'm going to get everybody back where they belong. Come on.
Come on, Ignis, you can do it.
They're so
Come on, boy.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Good boy.
And we'll do it again. We're going to take a look. Ifrit should be just chilling around out here. There he is. 4. And Ignis has the ability to pull us under the map like this. Multiphasal on this one. So now I'm going to jump out of this corner. I'm going to go around the throne room. I'm going to apparently, for some reason, get stuck and have to try this again. It's fine. It's fine. We'll make it work. Listen, the game's got to fight me somehow. So.
It's resisting. Like, you're skipping my final parts. I put so much effort into this.
Wonderful. Okay. Come on. I do believe I got clipped into a corner by the camera. All right. I mean, we have enough time to redo this, right?
Yeah, I'm sure we do. Hey, Ashton, what do you got lined up today?
Happy
Easter, everyone.
Yeah. I've got to get my registration done because today's the last day to register for RPG Limit Break. I say this like I haven't been registered since day one, but no.
Oh, okay, all right. I was about to get so mad.
No, I've definitely been registered since day one, but if you haven't, today is your last day. So head on over to RPGLimitBreak.com to register to come to our event.
Unfortunately, we have to reload our save. It happens, but hey, it's like that's kind of the fun thing about this is, you know, sometimes if it messes up, it's not like, oh, we have to restart the entire game because none of the glitches stay, minus like the temporary inventory swapping. So I literally can just pull the save back up. It's 10 minutes to the end of the game. It's a nice little practice loop that you can get going. Unfortunately, just things didn't work out 100%.
Yeah.
And then I made a mistake and got clipped into some terrain. It happens. I'm not perfect. I just try and make it fun.
Well, I'm having a blast. So.
Yeah. I mean, now we can also like kind of explain everything that goes on too. So if you or the chat have any questions, it's a good time to kind of poke the brain or. You know.
All right. Yeah. I got some questions for you, Kios.
Yeah. Ask the.
All right. So, is it normal to be able to just warp strike infinitely in the air? Like, is that just like a built-in game ability? Or are you doing something silly?
No. So with warp striking, normally it's 30 MP. And there are certain weapons where you can get it kind of like half off, like the air step blade, or air step sword rather. But with the kind of infinite refreshing stuff that we do, that is for some reason, again, if you can get the menu open while you're like controlling your character and keep refreshing from the gear menu, for some reason it just lets you. Again, I wish I understood the ones and zeros of it, but I think it probably has something to do with like refreshing the character state to match what is going on while you have the menu open, would be my assumption. But again, it's just an assumption. You know what they say about those. The other interesting thing is there's been a lot of like, again, tinkering with what weapons we can spawn due to the weapon swap glitch. Honestly, we've tried a whole bunch of other things, and this kind of setup just works the best because it also gives us 283 MP to work with. I need to get that. Oh well. But yeah, it's very interesting, like the amount of thoughts. Yeah, and that's another question, Felly, is the shortest speed run. This is not the shortest, but it's gone from honestly one of the longer ones to what, 45 minutes. I think Real's RTA time is like under 39 minutes, or it's like barely 40 minutes. It's impressive. Yeah. Really, but like none of this could be done without people like D-Wins, Real, Ajay, Fern, like a lot of people who have really like just put their all into it, you know?
I have one more general question here. So you're doing a lot of damage here at the end. Now, I have not once in my life played Final Fantasy 15. I plan to eventually. Yep. If I were to come here on a more standard casual playthrough here, how would my damage compare typically to what you are doing right now at low level with all this gear, all this manipulation that you got going on?
Pretty similar, realistically. Yeah. Like if you're, I would say, like I haven't done a quote unquote casual playthrough just because like it's not an ability I have to do anymore.
Yeah.
I would say most people enter this area around probably like what, Ash? Like level 60, I assume would be like a safe bet, 60 or 70.
Yeah, probably. Sounds about right.
So your damage will be pretty similar, I think. The other thing is you'll also have a very unique play style. Given that Noctis can use all sorts of different weaponries, and there are quite a few weaponries, and we've skipped over like the super special weapons that exist that are storyline related. There's tons of play styles. If you want Noctis to play like Prompto and use ranged abilities and like guns, you can do that. You can have him play with daggers. You can give him big old swords. You can play him with shields. Like,
or if you just want to play as Prompto, you can unlock that pretty quick too.
Yeah,
in combat,
you can
obviously.
Also just
outside of combat,
yeah,
you're still
in
forced
combat
to be
you can
Noctis,
play as other, like your party members. All right, round 2, Cerberus, technically. But yeah, this I can still like chitter chatter through this. There's really actually like nothing on this. But yeah, no, I think it's one of those games, like, yeah, it's not perfect, but I don't think anyone ever claimed it was meant to be. Like, obviously it had a very troubled development cycle. But I think I hate to sound like super hokey and corny, but like, I think this game is really, the friends you kind of make along the way type of deal. Yeah. Like how you enjoy it is very determinant on your experience with the game and how you interact with it. All right, there we go. Done and dusted. Now we can get to like, the whole end of it.
Bring on the next one.
And I know the reason the game is buggering me, I'll use that terminology instead, is because I decided that I'd run with a safer setup. So now, of course, it's going to be very indignant about everything. Apparently, YOLO strats are always the best way. All right, so we'll do our little tower climb here. And this, the fun thing with Ifrit Skip is this has been a thing that New Game Plus has been doing for, I want to say like 2-3 years. The only reason we couldn't do it is, yeah, we had like the previous version of any percent that I ran at GDQ. It's just we didn't have the ability to get enough MP to get all the way up there. Weapon swap. once you can manipulate your inventory and manipulate how much MP you have and actively refresh it in the air, it's all free. Yeah, no, there are some really beautiful places in this game. And like for a game that I'm running on like lower graphic settings, that's what, 8 years old, 9 years old now, it has aged pretty darn well in terms of like the graphic department.
It's a very pretty game.
Yes, hi Luna. Not right now. Cat's screaming at me for attention. She always picks the worst times. All right, come on up.
Yeah, I've had to deal with one of my new kitties I got a week ago, walking over my keyboard a couple times. So.
Oh yeah, keyboards. They're designed for cats.
They are. They really are. Thankfully, they haven't caused anything catastrophic yet. Other than tipping over the laundry basket. You know, that was pretty savage right there, but nothing too major.
I see a Gladio. We have a Gladio. Okay, let's... Oh, boy. All right, so, hey, who wants to do it a third time?
Heck yeah, let's go.
Where are you?
So, I know we were talking about showing off glitches. That's actually one of them, is realistically, if the game decides, no, you've been a bit too cheeky, it'll kind of deload the throne room right in the middle of it. Death plane. I don't know if you've seen any of those, Ashton, but there is weirdly a death plane under the entirety of the Citadel.
But
listen,
why
I wanted
though?
To do the glitch. I wanted to do the glitch exhibition after the run finishes, but like,
hey, look, if
sometimes
we're just being efficient here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just showing you how it can all go wrong before it goes right.
Isn't at least one of the arena for one of the kings is also down there somewhere? So maybe that's why. I don't know.
Yeah, technically, if I recall, if you go in the elevator at the throne room, like in the Citadel, it gives you the impression that it's going up, but it actually goes down. Is down into the boss rooms and then all the way up.
Yeah.
All right, third time lucky.
Absolutely.
Or whatever the kids say.
Look, anytime we get
it.
to spend more time with Core is good time with me. So.
Listen, you wanted a showcase. I've given you a showcase.
All right. So, Kyos, after this one, we're gonna hand the controller over to Ashen, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Ashen knows the secret of how to do Piteos quickly.
It's not that big a secret, but I might get to show it off at some point. Wink, wink. Anyway,
wink, wink.
Yeah,
I do love that because you haven't been through a lot of this. Just because of the amount of time you have in this game, you're still getting tutorial pop-ups that I don't think are there when you come here at the intended time. But it's been a while since I've come here at the intended time, so who knows?
Yeah, a lot of these tutorial pop-ups you should be getting within like the first 10 minutes of your playthrough as you go through. So Cindy actually gives you what is like essentially your tutorial quest. Like everyone who's played an RPG knows the tutorial quest. Like, oh, here's how your weapons work. Here's how movement works. Here's what happens if you take dip. Like these are all things you should be seeing. Like, like before you even finish like the Cindy arc, which like it should take 10 minutes if that. But because they're quote unquote special, I don't know how to describe them, but the pop-ups are. I guess they're coded as important by the game. They sometimes have special properties, which is why we, good, dearie me. which is like why we can set up AMG off of the tutorial, like the chocobo leaving prompt, because it's the first time that it happens. The game wants you to know it's a very important thing. So you have to basically acknowledge it, and it takes priority over any other thing that's going on in the game.
What brought you back to Insomnia? We wanted to do what we could.
That, the first time you get into combat at night and the first time you get knocked down, those all have special properties where they will supersede everything, close everything down except that dialogue box. Again, really strange. I don't know why it's particularly those, but all of them have been abused at one point or another to make AMG possible. All right, third time lucky.
Just up ahead. It's just about the only place.
Yeah. Again, I don't know, PX. Maybe at some point they were trying to make the battle more cinematic, a la the third phase of the final boss. Maybe a little bit more aerial focused combat, but I think it was, again, one of those things hey, we got to ship this game. We haven't figured this out. Just get what we need out of it. And if you're trying to ship, it doesn't make sense to, instead of hammer out the last couple of features, spend time deleting stuff that's not really necessary.
Names our objective. Several of the
All right. Now, if the game would cooperate, and I'm sure it's probably just having a fit because we have 27 captures up, but we'll be all right. This can go here. This can go there. Good. Good. If anything, I think this game has given me a sense of the terms of efficiency and optimizations. It's really almost to the point where it's formulaic. Some of the movement, and especially some of the stuff we're gonna do later, you can literally it is, once you get comfortable with it, you can literally just count out in your head. Oh, I've warp striked 5 times. I have to refresh, which for some people is a bit of a weird experience, but for me, I kind of like the fact that in a game that's so, as we've already seen, wildly inconsistent, that there are some really absolute certainties within the game and within the run. Thank you. Okay. I just really like fighting the dog. That's actually the true story. I've been intentionally sabotaging everything just so I can fight the dog more.
You mean pet the dog, yes?
Yes, pet the dog.
Yeah.
I'm petting the dog.
You're petting the dog until the dog is satisfied and then leaves.
Petting the dog with frosty ice daggers until the dog is happy.
I'm sorry, the only response I have is inappropriate jokes. I will keep them to myself. All that's left is the takedown.
No holding back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, it just phased out. I pleased it so well. It has been able to release itself. All right.
Oh my god.
So now we'll fight for the third time. I don't know why the game's been really finicky with me lately, but I guarantee it's just a little bit of CPU loading, so I should be able to make this work.
This is an interesting
There are
fight.
so many points, T, where this will literally just crash out or soft lock. There we go. I'm just kind of turning off a few things here in the background just to make sure.
This isn't
I
really
do like how
interesting
this guy's
fight
just sitting here.
Yeah, from
Just no sells it. Go ahead,
yeah,
Ashton.
why not? Yeah, just sit in a fiery throne in front of your throne. Why not? But it's an interesting sight from a story standpoint because, you get through the first phase and then there's a cutscene that we skip in the second phase, and it kind of proves that this whole fight is kind of you in the middle of a lover's spat between Ifrit and And Shiva.
Oh yeah.
Pose. It's so good.
But also randomly
You're
Bahamut
supposed to
shows
finish
up.
this fight with a summon.
Out of the frying pan.
Technically.
Da, da, da.
All right. And away we go again. 1, 2, 3. Literally, you can count out a lot of this. I wish I was joking, but like on the plus side,
Whatever works.
it is pretty easy to learn and get comfy with once you kind of get over the fact that you're, holding a controller and a number pad and all this other fun stuff. Like, it is pretty interesting. And I've, like I said, really just kind of dipped my feet back into glitch hunting and seeing what all is on the menu with this game sometimes.
All
Okay,
right.
I have
Looking
Gladio.
good.
Let's grab Gladio. Thank you, Gladio. For some reason, I just prefer to grab Gladio here. It locks me into where I want to be.
All right, this time for sure, Kios.
Yep, I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried either.
No, this will be fine.
It'll be fine.
This is, again, probably like worst case scenario. I've had to reload everything a handful of times, but oh well. What are you going to do? All right. Come on.
What we're going to do is we're going to sit here and still enjoy it, because this is great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it is really interesting to watch how the game kind of collapses in on itself. And like, this is, gentlemen.
Come on, Ignis. Get your butt over here. Come on, boy. You can do it. We've been over this. Come on.
Normally I have to pay for those kind of compliments. Okay, let's just get over here.
You're just talking to the wrong people, Kios.
Yeah.
Also, can we get a shout out for Kyoslilmonster here, putting on this wonderful showcase for us today. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. I always love showcasing this game wherever I can. 3, 4. All right. Cool. So we've made it to this point a few times. Let's finally seal the deal.
Just need to not get stuck in a corner, right?
Yep. There we go. Perfect. All right. This is what I was aiming to do, but last time the game ate a few inputs and launched me underneath this. So we are now in the throne room. We are technically still in combat, but out of combat. As you can see, the lights on my armor went out. And I'm going to interact with the throne room door while we're technically still in combat with Ifrit to load into the final boss fight. Now, very quickly, I need to change my clothes a little bit. I'm feeling festive.
Oh my goodness, this outfit.
And I am going to set this up. Actually, let's do it this way. Just kind of maximizing my chances of getting out, but also setting as much MP as I can get. So we have no photos, so it just skips that whole thing. The game's smart like that. But I'm gonna grab this imaginary photo with my hanging task. Now, one very interesting thing is Noctis is not wearing any clothes right now.
Wait, hold on.
No,
Wait, we're not on that site. We're on the wrong site for this.
That's okay. I put the exosuit on him, but you'll notice because I equip something during a cutscene, it doesn't change. So we're going to go into the final battle with Arden. There are a few glaring issues that we have to take care of. I do not have the right character model for Noctis right now. You cannot finish the game with young Noctis.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, young Noctis?
Oh, yeah, there's just a little bit of a time skip. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't.
And so there's a 10 years older Noctis that is supposed to be who you're playing in this chapter. But also, I feel like we left
Good
Core
news.
hanging
We got
a
that
little bit.
first try. That's actually the more difficult trick at this point. Now, fortunately, we talked to Yosef earlier, and Yosef's a good fella. And what that does is it brings Core over here to this here tower. And now we're in the right outfit. But the other thing is we have the correct Noctis character model now.
Oh.
So you'd be like, all right, Kios, I see that you've started this side quest, right? Everything's fine. Well, unfortunately, the game doesn't recognize the fact that we're still technically now in 3 separate combats at once. We're in this, what is supposed to be like a closed mission with Core. Ifrit is still loaded in.
Yep.
And
he's
our
doing
final
something
boss
over
fight
there.
with Arden is also loaded in. So we're in the middle of basically 3 fights at once.
Is that where that fire just came from?
Yep, that is the Hoplomachus, which I think is a really cool name for a jumping mech.
That is really funny.
This is why it's so
I think it's also
important to
one
have...
that's been used before in like FF6, maybe?
Probably. This is one of the reasons why it's so important to have the Magitech armor, which is not technically DLC armor. It was patched into base game, so anybody in base game could have it, but has always been a little bit too powerful. Because you'll notice no damage is being taken here.
Yep, no damage, no interruptions. The balancing on it is pretty interesting, though, I think. You only get like 30 minutes of in-game usage, which I think is like really good because it allows you to like, hey, I'm really struggling with this segment. It gives you like the ability to kind of not be locked out of something, but like it's not something that you can just like really super ultra abuse if you don't want to. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna get lucky here. This is a summon. Normally what we need to do is actually whittle Arden's HP down an extra amount, but this should make things a little bit easier. Cool. So
Was that Titan because he was so big?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can get a summon, and technically if you get it like that quick, it's actually faster. But I'm just going to sit here with this menu open. And I'm going to change my outfit, which is pretty weird. You know, I love playing dress up. But for some reason, if I put that outfit on, you're going to notice Core is going to spawn in right behind Arden. Again, very strange. Not sure why. But we're going to go into what is now phase 2 of Arden with our menu up, and we're just going to warp strike him because that's really all we can do. Unfortunately, I need to keep this menu open. The way the game is coded, you're supposed to play the game, you know, the way the developers intended.
What? Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Whoever would want to do that? Certainly not me.
So at the end of the game, you're supposed to have gathered certain weapons. You're supposed to get yourself like a fancy ring and your dad's sword. Oh, I was a little late. He'll be fine. He'll walk it off. Unfortunately, I don't have my dad's sword because we skipped 95% of the darn game. So what I am instead going to do is I need to hold this menu open because what happens is the game basically entirely flushes your inventory except for that sword and puts it into your top inventory slot. I don't have it. So by holding the menu open there, I was actually able to assign what weapon I wanted there instead. You'll notice I brought Core to the final fight.
Yeah.
Which is good because Core can do some pretty nice damage. Like he actually might get the KO here. Yep, he did. And we have a couple of button presses, but get ready on the time, which is unfortunately way higher than the estimate. But we got to see some fun things, and I still have a few other things planned. And this is time.
GG's.
Woo!
And you'll also notice we have Ifrit still in the fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's still there.
And this is the glory, I think, of in-engine cutscenes, is the game is going to go through this ending scene. But because we technically never finished the Ifrit fight, Ifrit's still there. Because we haven't finished the fight, Ifrit's throne is still there. Mm-hmm. I've brought Core into this. Core is not supposed to be in this scene. He's in there. And because we did the naked character glitch in the throne room, we will now have an entire extra duplicate set of our party in the background of this scene.
Yeah, I'm amazed like that the game still functions and just is able to handle all of this happening. Mm-hmm. And not just break down into pieces. Which,
like I said, this
is a testament to the game.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not
you want to
poorly
say,
coded.
Listen, if a game was
so
poorly
well.
coded, it would crash anytime something unexpected happened, right? But the fact that it can handle everything, I think that is wonderfully coded.
It just sits there crying a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like it's definitely using a little bit more GPU than it should at this point because of again, you're loading in a full models with particle effects and all sorts of silliness attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, you know what? I think I can probably run this to the New Game Plus save, and then there's something I was tinkering with. If we need me to showcase, I have something that takes about 15 minutes that I've been kind of working on to see if I can do something cool with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I have no objections at all. You're preaching to the choir here, Kios.
If you're wondering what's wrong with the cutscene, well, Ifrit's throne is still in the shot. All the characters
it's kind of inside of it
it
somewhere.
It's in engine cutscenes. This is why I like them.
Yeah, Ed Engine's fantastic.
Just gonna stand here in the middle of whatever these vines and stuff are.
Oh yeah, there's Ifrit.
He's frozen.
Yep.
Walk tall, my friends.
I mean, maybe Ifrit's our friend, and he just really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I'll say those 10 years did not treat Noctis well.
Yep.
Well, he did spend them locked
in
inside of a jail cell, so
Makes sense.
I mean, I think Prompto had a bit of a glow up. You know, it lets me know that you can also be 30 and not, feel bad about it. It's just there's duplicates of the party. Like it's quite silly.
I'm enjoying this so much. Like, yeah, the throne getting in the way of the camera is fantastic.
Yeah,
it kind of frames him a little bit. Yeah, a little mysterious.
Dark and mysterious.
There is a texture on screen. Don't know what it is, but it's there.
Your
it's
new
some
throne
weird roots
right there.
Yeah, thanks for the GGs. Unfortunately, we took a little bit of a battering. Again, there are a bunch of people that have a lot of this. It wouldn't be possible without D wins in the chat. D took a big pioneering step to basically take New Game Plus and find a way to jam it into New Game. Like when we first started working on it together, it was probably 2 years ago, and I think we got it down to like under 2 hours, and it was like, wow, this is cool. This is like, where do we go from here? Like, and that was the worst question we could have asked openly, because since then we've just continued to just chop more and more and more out of the game to the point where it's literally the only difference between New Game and New Game Plus is realistically in New Game you have to go get the chocobos. Like that's it. Like that's literally what it's down to. All right, so I should be able to make a New Game Plus save.
Okay.
Or at least back out to the menu. I want to be able to back out to the menu, and I'll see if I have a save that I can load. And we'll do Deadeye really quick, and then I am going to take us somewhere special.
Somewhere
the only
special?
reason
I've always wanted to go there. Somewhere special.
I'll get your passport ready.
All right, I got it. Still works. Hopefully.
Still works. Yeah, we'll have to sit through a little of this. Believe it or not, this is actually faster than like redoing everything I need to do, because I do need AMG active, and thankfully it's one of those glitches that is persistent. So I can save, I can load, I can go into DLCs. It won't go away until I fully shut the game off. But if anyone needs a stretch break, or hey, we want to talk about registration closing, you should go to Limit Break. If you have the ability to, you should go.
Yes, experience the new location with the Sol. We're so excited to head somewhere new this year, in Denver, Colorado. So
Denver's got great food. I've heard that a lot of the people there are genuinely nice. And their airport's pretty neat too. I've been to the airport, but I've not been outside of it.
I haven't like actually been to Denver since I was like single digit years old.
Baby Kiara.
Little baby Kiara there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But as we get loaded into this next little bit here, so hopefully, like you can also like, even if you can't attend in person, obviously the whole event is streamed. Again, starting I believe May 17th is the day. I'm double checking myself here.
Yep.
Yeah, May 17th. May 18th. May 18th. Yeah, May 17th is when we get all set up.
Yeah.
18th is when the actual show starts itself. I'm planning my trip here. So that's going to be streamed live right here on RPG Limit Break. So even if you cannot support in person, just being there, being part of our online audience would be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
So we got an awesome schedule, which you can check out there at the websites. So hope to see you all there.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. It's a fun event to watch, even remotely via Twitch. It's pretty darn interactive. A lot of us runners are strange enough that we can like do our runs and keep up with chat sometimes. And generally the community around it is very knowledgeable. Like say there's an FF6 run, you'll probably find in chat a lot of other FF6 runners. And, if you have questions about the games or the runs, there's generally always someone in chat who can like fill you in or direct you if you're interested in it to learn more.
Wait, who's this girl?
Don't worry
Where'd
about
she
it.
come from? Yeah, I'm assuming this is part of the 95% of the story we missed.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's very important
That's her
in the 2-hour cutscene that is the Kingsglaive movie.
Yep. Her hair is gorgeous though. Like
yeah, I'm kind of silly.
This game is 9 years old. Like
okay, her hair honestly kind of similar to my hair. I'll be honest here. Look at the comparisons. I even got the braid. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool how it goes to the Amato art. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Yep, it's not done yet.
That was so cool.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, adorable.
It's really interesting because I've not like my casual experiences with this are so far and few between. But the main splash screen is representative of whether you've completed the game and also where your last save is, which is really neat when you think about how everything kind of loads in. Like it's a start screen. Who is Noctis thanking? Me.
You, the player.
Single-handedly playing this game every day of my life.
Yeah, no, it's not the player.
Right.
He's specifically thinking Kios.
Yeah, when you play FF15, he's not thanking you. Still Kios.
Yep.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do have a signed piece of art that does have Robbie and Ray's signature on it, thanking me.
Very nice.
All right, I'm going to load this in. So this is a save that I have previously made. And this is just like, this was one of my practice saves for getting comfortable with setting up TMG. Excuse me. But we do have AMG active. Yeah, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and get our chocobos really quickly because I am not prepared and didn't make a save with chocobos because I am me.
In the meantime, I do want to point out there's ferrets. There are adorable ferrets happening.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's Freya. She's a sweet bean. She's gonna nestle right under that blanket. But yeah, fun thing. If you don't talk to Cindy, you don't get the map. And if you start running away, she just yoinks you, like, get back here.
Back here.
So you can't avoid her, unfortunately.
I mean,
do you want to?
I've got 2 really good reasons for you to not avoid her. 1, you really need that map, and 2, you really need the car casually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You thought
like, can you just not do it and still proceed with the game?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me double check this. Do I? Yes, I do. You know what? Let's do this instead. I had to like really rethink about what I had going here, and I think this is actually the one that I want. There was a lot of tinkering that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1 day left. Perfect. Yep, this is exactly what I want. So I am going to return to our rest point, and I do have my chocobos. I'm actually going to buy another day of chocobo really quickly because I want to refresh this to be in the morning. So there is a very interesting place in the game. There is a super, not a super dungeon, but it's one of the dungeons in the game. It's a place called Kyoslilmonster. Now, Kyoslilmonster is a very interesting place, given as much like Piteos, it is a puzzle dungeon.
Yeah.
However, not in the sense of like let's jam a platformer into an RPG kind of a deal. This is a bit more of like slidey blocks, hidden areas, what have you.
It's also got a lot more combat than Piteos, because Piteos has 0.
Yeah, it is, and it is pretty unforgiving in terms of combat. Like, it's generally not a place you're going to go to at level 8 or level 9. Like, you got to stock some serious supplies because there is no rest point, and you can't leave the dungeon. Haha, we'll be back, kind of a thing. Like, you got to chug through it.
Yep. And like many of the dungeons in the game, it also has a super dungeon or a post-game dungeon afterwards, and it is also the hardest post-game dungeon as well. So it is meant to be like a challenging place to be.
So what I am going to do is I think we're going to go take a visit. Now, if you have seen anything that Fern may have posted a few years ago, there is a potential push to try and find a way to just skip all of Kyoslilmonster and get to the bottom.
Because there are rewards down there that are worth it.
Yeah, to be honest, like there's only one category, and that would be like the all Royal Arms stuff. But even when we're trucking through it in speedrun, fully prepped, the most optimal way to do the combat we can, it still takes about the better part of 20 minutes, which is a lot. That's really a lot.
Yeah.
But if you could potentially just skip all of it by abusing AMG and the fact that the game doesn't load things properly, well, that would be pretty neat, right?
Maybe just a little bit.
Again, I haven't fully been able to replicate what I've seen because it's old footage, and it involves having access to the car. I do not have access to the car. Okay, cool. This is good. This bodes well. But what I am gonna do is we're gonna take our chocobo here, and we're gonna take a stroll down to Kyoslilmonster. And for those of you that like game design and game deving, this is probably pretty interesting to see how things load into games, because as far as the game knows, my last location is all the way back there by that giant telephone pole. And with the menu open, the game really isn't loading much. But I'm just going to take us out over back near Wiz, and then we're going to go for a walk on the wild side, as the kids would say.
Well, we are getting some around the menu, but you are getting some amazing views of just the landscape here. It's just gorgeous.
You know, I'm always one of those people that, like, I'm not a fan of, like, everything compares to Dark Souls. Like, oh, it's the Dark Souls of... But I've had to come to grips with the fact that a lot of the similarities, like, because Dark Souls glitches and, like, how that game runs is very, very, like, wide knowledge. Like, hundreds of people have really delved into those games, and, like, the concept of stable ground, low collision, high collision. Like, a lot of my knowledge of how video games operates comes from things like Illusory Wall and you know, a lot of glitch hunters within the Souls series. A lot of that is present here too. The concept of stable ground, where you can and can't save. Ooh.
That was a road a second ago, wasn't it?
It was
okay.
Now there is currently nothing underneath it. Again, I'm still trying to workshop this, so I'm learning as everyone else is learning. I'll put it.
I mean, it looks like you're swimming just through algae infested waters here.
Technically flying, because there is no ground beneath us, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So this is, again, something new. I've done this probably about 15 to 20 times. I've done it offline with different load states. Like, it's very interesting what the game decides it wants to load in and what it doesn't want to load in. That car over there, however, is fine driving through the abyss. Unfortunately, my Chocobo, not so much.
I mean, I saw one of the boys on their Chocobo seem to be fine too. So it's specifically Noctis and his Chocobo. So that's interesting. They're a little less fine.
Don't mind me. I'm eating cars. Yeah, this wasn't supposed to happen here, but you know what? I can probably navigate a little bit better by this. Let's take a look at our map and see where we're at. I'm just gonna... Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to stop moving to look at your map,
that's...
right?
Part of the issue is I've drifted slightly off course from where I want to be. So let's see if we can fix that. We might be able to. I might have to reload. If I have to reload, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I know D's having a blast with it. I don't think you were around for my testing on this yesterday. There's some strange things that can happen for how long you hold AMG. Because I believe at some point I've actually found, like, there is a time limit to just how much the game will let you actively destroy it. Listen, I'm just playing the game the way the devs intended, and I won't hear otherwise.
100%. This is what they wanted the GUI to look like as you were running around the world and clipping through the ground on your Chocobo.
Yep.
I've hit a wall. I've hit some sort of wall.
Yeah, this game world does seem pretty massive.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, is this like true open world for Final Fantasy?
Actually, yeah.
Pretty darn.
I mean, you're a little locked off at some points, and then you hit like a point of no return, but then you can... I don't know if you saw the dog in the ending cutscene, but the dog lets you kind of just, like, travel back to places.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I know we have, like, a Rebirth that recently came out, which I also love, where, like, you have several, like, large areas that progress in a more linear sequence.
Yeah.
Versus, like, you can go anywhere at any time type deal.
Yeah, so on this main map here, there are 3 areas. 4 distinct areas, really, that you unlock over the course of the story. But once you have them all unlocked, you can go anywhere. And then at some point in the story, you go to a different map, and then you go to a different map, and then you go to a different map, finally culminating in the one that we back in Insomnia, in that map where we fought Ifrit and such. But yeah, there is
game said no.
Yeah, there is
hello.
an in-game mechanic that allows you to travel back between those maps. It's given as time travel, which is fun, but it allows you to travel between the maps, basically.
Let me see. I think, yeah. Okay, that's fine. I have an easy remedy to this. Just do it again. It's the best part.
Yeah.
And just take a different direction. But what happened there was the game loads in seams, like in large chunks. And the direction that I went was not the correct one in terms of which chunk I wanted to load. So we'll try it again. But it is, for me, it's just like interesting watching literally just everything kind of fall away here. So what I actually want to do is something that used to be a big part of the speedrun, which was skipping, and this fits into what Ashen and you had asked, is we're skipping one of the first blockades. Like Ashen said, with the casual gameplay, you're going to be like locked into place for the first couple of chapters, because the game doesn't want you getting there. That's kind of where the plot is, like the kind of the spectacle of, oh wow, there's a huge open world. Doesn't want to overwhelm you at first. But one of the big things was we used to do all of this. We'd get the car, then we drive it out here and skip over, using the camera bug, skip over the Kyoslilmonster blockade to get to Wiz's chocobos, because we need the chocobo for the any percent. So finding ways to get around it was one of the earlier tasks within the run.
Again, if you saw the AGDQ run, this is that route used this skip. I will say this is a really cool rock up here. You can just climb up that whole rock. You can also fight that rock.
You can fight the rock.
Because sometimes you just need to hit a rock a few times.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
No.
That man is single-handedly decreasing the cod population in the ocean. I've never seen someone eat so much fish. It's terrifying. Okay, so there is the one blockade. So what I'm going to try and find here, if possible, is a little seam in the world that is going to let me get around it. Now, part of having AMG in the menu open like this is I need a bunch of stuff to deload. And deloading stuff is cool, because that's what allows us to skip a lot of stuff. So I'm going to assume this is blocked. Okay. Good. We have to play like a little kind of Tetris game to figure out what's loaded and what's deloaded. Again, finding consistency in this is really tough. I've found, just because of what loads when, where, how, what's stored on my RAM. If there's anything else that's attached to it, how long I've been on the chocobo, what time of day it is, what I had for lunch recently. Eventually, I'll find some sort of consistency in it. Will it be worth it? Who knows? But
what's the barometric pressure? Cool. Is Mercury in retrograde? All that stuff. Makoto's asking.
That is a problem. That's no fun.
Makoto in the chat asking why we want to Dwayne him. The answer is that the Dwayne is the drain is actually a pretty good technique against that rock. Just get the ring on him and just drain him, and he can get through the fight pretty quickly with that.
The other interesting thing with the drain mechanic of a weapon you'll get is that it also physically deflates your targets.
It like squeezes them and turns them from the 3D model into like a 2D sprite almost. It's great.
Yeah. It's like when you hit the deform tool and then do not let go of the deform tool. I'll put it that way. Gidge, I'm pretty sure you're okay, dear. Man, this game... Listen, I'm kind of glad the game has been fighting me like tooth and nail. Like I had to reload because I got into a random battle and a horse knocked me off of my chocobo. But it's good to get some of this weird stuff out of the way, like and just kind of show off like a lot of these things. A lot of these runs look like really kind of straightforward, nice and easy. But like there's a whole bunch of stuff that we end up having to monitor and like avoid. Like this run is over if I get knocked off of my chocobo, if I'm not paying attention, like that the whole run just goes away.
And it's been an interesting
very small things.
Yeah, it's been an interesting thing we've seen across a lot of our random encounters is that suddenly we're showing off what to do when the game goes wrong or when the run goes wrong, which is not necessarily our stated goal, but it is an interesting thing to show off, right? Because
Yeah, one thing I really like here that we get to see while we're running is when you have like the low LOD, right? And how it interfaces with flat objects. You got like all these random polygons coming in and covering the road that you normally wouldn't see, but at the low detail where you're not supposed to see any of this, you know, none of it's supposed to be loaded like this. You get to see it like, you know, clip over each other, and you got these weird shadows coming in, and I love that.
Oh yeah, like for me, like I know I'll never have the brain power to like do game dev, but being able to kind of see how it all works is very interesting to me.
Yeah, all the little tricks you do to get every bit of performance out of it. And, I think one of the coolest things I remember seeing is like with the original Metroid Prime, how like as soon as like the camera is even slightly removed from something, it's just, this no longer exists. It's completely deloaded. And like that, I just think it's cool that computers are so good. You can do that so quickly, and you're spinning around quickly, and it's just deloading everything that's done on screen. Like the culling that you have.
Yep.
It's so neat. It's one of the most awesome like little things that every game does, and it's just fun to see it work.
I mean, that's how we even have this speed run, to be honest, is we being able to open the menu and put the game into a pause state, but retain control is like, this run doesn't happen without that. It's just not a possibility. All right. One of these seams up here will let me get through if my timing is correct. At least I hope. Again, I've not 100% proofed everything because unfortunately you can't really prepare for all the eventualities. But I know one of these should be somewhere around here. If you're wondering where we are, this is kind of where you're actually supposed to go.
Yeah, this is the road to Golden Key.
In Chapter 1, we're headed towards Golden Key, which has a great hotel and great fishing.
And a wonderful jewel merchant.
I could go the rest of my life without ever hearing that haunting voice.
Now we know why. Now we know why you're running any percent. You just want to avoid Dino.
Yep.
And I don't blame you.
I mean, he's honestly like a really cool character for sure. But like, I could live without him. I've had to listen to that man talk for far too long.
Yeah. It was a very interesting choice that they made with the voice direction on that.
Which is like weird because like the rest of the voice cast I think is tremendous. Like Adam Crosdale, Ray Chase, I forget who did Gladio, and Robbie Draymond. Like, yeah, I have nothing bad to say about any of them.
Let's see.
I always forget who Gladio's voice actor was. Also, Darren DePaul, incredible
Yes.
in this game.
Oh my gosh, yes. Gladio's English voice actor is Chris Parson.
Chris, thank you. I do love that this is actually working out. We were looking for right around 2 hours. We're going to get pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to work out perfect.
Yeah, there's, as Kiara was talking about, like all the LOD stuff, you can see there's a massive like kind of gap in there. That's just an invisible wall. You're designed to like bounce off of that. Like, again, it's just really neat how game devs will just make stuff work. Like, I'm running against something that is a chain link fence, but to save like graphics power, it doesn't load it in. It just loads the collision. Like, it is really neat what happens when you start stripping games back. Cool. So this looks very familiar, which is good. I want it to look familiar because again, testing it. Oh, look, we're going to get some rain while we're here. Cool.
All right. Shout out to the weather.
Yeah,
I love
the weather ironically still loads in, which is, I think, like a weird thing. Like, why would you want that? But I don't know. Again, I am unfamiliar with the game dev process. I'm sure there is a reason for it. But touching back on the whole wrong warp thing, how we like swim and go to insomnia, that concept is something that is going to come into play here. Again, it's really tough to kind of figure it out. Like, it's the only way to really do it is like kind of trial and error and, you know, see what sticks. But as we're making our way here, we're going down towards the Fall Grove and to our good friend Kyoslilmonster. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye out here. There should be a seam line that is going to start to load. And it's actually the underwater boundary of that pond. Believe it or not, that little piece of water over there actually goes well underneath the map and takes up way more area than you think it does. Mm-hmm. But we're going to start seeing the outskirts load, and then there's going to be a seam line to the left, I believe. Yep, here it is. Perfect. I have founded it.
What a conveniently placed seam.
Right? I actually can use it to help me dictate where I want to go.
Well, that seems very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if I make a left here, go around that giant toad, who is looking quite majestic, really.
So it is loading the enemies as well. That's interesting.
Yeah. And the toad really, those are only a forced spawn in the rain, which, again, pretty weird.
Yeah.
Now, this is really tough to do because, again, I'm trying to replicate something I've seen on, 720p video 5 years ago in a language that's not my own. So if we bonk into this, at some point, it should shoot us straight down into the map.
Suddenly loading.
Suddenly loading. We'll see if it works. Sometimes it gets really cranky. Maybe.
Come on.
Nope. I'm pretty sure it's soft locked.
Oh.
Which means I didn't land in an area that is actually like Kyoslilmonster. Oh well. We tried. Unfortunately, that is a full soft lock.
That's nothing's happening anymore.
Yep. But you can actually get the get the game to load you into portions of Kostelmark, which is interesting. Oh, that's cool. It just straight up, there we go.
It just crashed on you?
Straight up crashed. You can get it to shoot you into the bottom room. I've landed in like the outer rings of it, which is also pretty unique. But yeah, we can try it again, or if we want to call it here, I'm totally okay either way. I don't know what our time schedule is looking like here.
I'm good. I'll leave that call up to Ashen.
Me? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep. You're the one running this show behind the scenes, right? So
well,
yeah,
yes,
you had fancy
actually.
mixer on your screen and all this other stuff. Like, yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. I think we've got enough time to try it once more, if you would like, or if you had something else you wanted to show as well. But I think Kostelmark was the fun thing, though. So
yeah, I don't have my Pitio save, and I leave that one for you. Let's let's go here.
Okay.
Big shout outs to glitch hunters that make all of this possible. Sometimes the most important thing in speedrunning is just having a community member that likes to see what they can do with video games. And like, like, I know you all do this, but what happens if I do it this way? It's so important to the development of speedruns.
Go on, have a look around. This'll make
Absolutely.
sure y'all don't get lost.
Might as well make good use of the extra time.
Actually, you know what? Wrong save.
Oh.
It's fine. I forgot that I made this save.
Let's tracks.
Yeah, let's.
Also, shout outs to this game for having strong female characters. Like, consistently. Oh my goodness. There are some very, very incredibly strong female characters in this game.
Yeah.
It gets slept on for that.
Hey, Iggy, how's the diner sound?
Splendid. I could use a cuppa.
Okay. I see.
What happened there?
I forgot that with this save, I bought the chocobos at night. So advancing to morning doesn't give me what I need. Doesn't give you
the pop-up?
Yeah. That's all right. We'll get it this time. But yeah, as you play through, you'll encounter heads of state, mercenaries, aeons, whatever have you. All very strong women.
Yep.
Also, I have a rolling theory that Taka is like not very solid when it comes to sight. We always scare him.
Every single time.
Always surprise him.
Oh!
Look out, stomach.
Had your fill? Good.
Also, if you just want to see some beautiful food.
Oh God, RPG food it's disgusting how good it looks. It makes me hungry every time. I've not had breakfast or lunch today. After this, I'm gonna go get something nice.
And again,
mouth-watering.
I feel like Final Fantasy 15 was on the leading edge of that as well. It's just so pretty.
Yeah.
And it was the first one I saw, at least, that was trying to do that kind of hyper-realistic meal type thing.
Yeah, I remember the first time that it really got me was, I think, Pikmin 3. Which had all the delicious looking fruit. And like in the latest Mario Party with the cake. Like, oh, it looks so delicious. The Monster Hunter Wild Dawn that
Monster
everybody
Hunter food
raved
is
about.
so
Ugh. I literally went and bought Indian food after I saw that scene.
That's so good. I gotta figure out what I'm doing today. The weather's nice. I might fire up the smoker and get some pork shoulder going.
Ooh.
Not
Kyo's,
right
how are you
now,
this
but-
cool? Like, you're just gonna fire up the smoker. All right, excellent. With your ferrets in the background, and like, if only I could be as cool as Kyo's.
I mean, I am just an idiot cat boy on the internet that plays the same game over and over again. So I don't think coolness is a factor in my part.
Yeah, I made sure to put on my cat attire to match. So.
I mean, smoking meat's not too tremendously difficult, thankfully. It's just an exercise of patience is all.
Mm-hmm. And God, it's so good. When done right, there's nothing like it.
All right, let's see if we can get back out here again. I had the right line, just game didn't want to load me in where I wanted to be. Congratulations.
Yay, level
But
2.
yeah, I think that's the greatest joy of this game sometimes, casually, is just, I don't know what I want to do with it. You can just hop on your chocobo and just kind of like see the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know why like other games don't strike me particularly the way this one does. Maybe it's nostalgia or like the fact that I've spent so much time in it, but I don't know. It's one of those worlds that feels real enough that you can have a relative sense of immersion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, pork shoulder's good. I was very lucky enough to find a really good deal on like chest freezers. So I've now kind of started like stockpiling stuff whenever I see like, oh, pork shoulders on sale, I'll just buy one and toss it down there. So
Nice.
yeah, I can start smoking it. Maybe I'll do one on Monday if the weather holds out nicely. We fiddling, Ash?
Just a little bit.
Heck yeah. It's weird seeing multiple chocobos in various states of movement. All right. Now we're back on the road. There's our nice invisible wall seam. But if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well. I attempted to show off something pretty neat, and I obviously had a good time with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to register for Limit Break.
That's the most important
Or
part.
Kiara will come and steal all of your right foot socks only.
Right foot socks only.
What?
Right. Unleash the feet.
What?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it, but only a little bit.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just pop out of your TV screen like the Ring and crawl out in the middle of the night, steal your socks, and leave.
That's not helping me be
Oh, no,
less
it
worried about it.
Yeah. Well, listen. Some people. Would
Well,
look
you
forward to something
registered
like that
already.
happening.
You're fine.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
good.
I'm registered, so I'm fine. I'm not gonna lose any socks.
Have you talked with the washing and dryer gremlins? The dryer gremlins, they always grab my socks. It's weird.
My dryer, I have a good relationship with my dryer. Has not betrayed me yet.
We're on
We'll have to have a
amendable
long
terms.
chat if that happens.
I didn't realize I needed it, but when we moved in to this house, I have a smart oven But it's really nice just to be lazy and check, like, did I remember to turn the oven off? I didn't. I would like to turn the oven off from my phone.
Chat, you and I were experiencing that together. That was me messing with things and causing some really fun lag on the video stream, and then it just kind of all went at the same time. So we're getting it at like half speed for a little bit, and then getting it at 2x speed for a little bit. It was great.
That's so cool, and now we're all caught up.
Yeah, we should be.
Rubber banding is really neat. Again, like just the even setup to get all of this functioning is pretty wild. Doing this speed run, not so bad. Like, it's actually not incredibly awful. But I will say, like, getting the capture of like the number pad and the game pad and everything else we have going on is pretty impressive. Like, games are very finicky. Like, even the game you think is coded the best is literally probably held together with spit, string, and like blood sacrifice.
It works just as well as it needs to.
Yep. See, there we go. That is what I'm looking for. That little area there that just loaded into the black void. I want to hit that and hopefully land on stable ground. So let's see if it wants to play ball today.
Weird building, eh, guys?
Hello.
It's like no architecture I've ever seen.
Hi.
So I loaded into not the full dungeon, but I at least got us into somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's see if it lets me get off the chocobo. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But hey, we broke into Kyoslilmonster.
With a chocobo. That'll be
I don't think it's gonna let us retain control, and that wouldn't surprise me because of how much is going on in the background. But you can use AMG to warp underground. And that's kind of one of the next glitches I'm gonna try and like suss out and chase out.
Yeah. Very
But
Come on,
curious.
Lo,
leaving it-
you can do it.
Leaving it broken on a loading screen, I think, is always the best way to leave this game because it is rough. Anyway, that's what I got for you.
All right, GG's.
Proud of it, I think. Question mark?
Hey, look, it happens, right? I love that, you know, there are ways to just flat out bust the game where it's just not going to work anymore. You're done. It's over. It's out.
Yep.
But either way, regardless of taking a couple tries, like it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure everybody watching had a good time. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Just sitting here chatting. It was a great time.
Always is.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, as we've mentioned many times, please go register at RPGLimitBreak.com. So can't wait to see you at the event or watching with us here in Twitch chat or on YouTube. And I guess, Kios, I want to give you a chance here to shout yourself out a little bit.
Hi,
current
I'm
projects,
Kios.
what you're doing, and yeah.
Projects. I started a new job. I bought a house. So
Congratulations! Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
It's been a busy year for us, and we're still kind of feeling it out. But I've been working on 15 a lot. I submitted it to SGDQ because I was kind of bullied into it. I unfortunately didn't submit this to Limit Break, but it was something I wanted to do in person, and I knew I wouldn't be able to afford coming out, unfortunately. So expect to see it maybe next year if the cards play out right. I've also been working on Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I'm actually looking forward to. I guess this is kind of a shout out, not sponsored or anything, but I've really been looking forward to a game called Clair Obscure that's coming out of a French studio in a couple of days. That is the best way to describe it is interactive turn-based combat.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like a weird. Again, I'm gonna rescind on myself, but like Souls-based parry mechanics in turn-based combat with like a really cool score and very interesting like eldritch designs. For,
Oh,
like,
I'm sold
characters and
on
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Give me that weird cosmic horror.
Yes, exactly. Kind of like the easiest like elevator pitch is Bloodborne, but turn-based kind of. But yeah, I do this. I have pets. I cook. I clean. I cosplay. I ride motorcycles. I think I'm actually going to try and toss the battery in mine and maybe go for a quick ride today.
Is there anything you don't do?
That I can legally admit to? What I don't do really well at platformers. Everybody's got to have a weakness. But yeah, I normally stream like 5 or 6 days a week. It's generally speedruns, and then I've been going through the SMT franchise.
Ooh, nice.
In hard mode because I don't like myself very much.
Okay.
No, but again, I always love hanging out here with Limit Break, showcasing what I know, what I can do. And if you ever have any questions about 15 or any of the games I run, you're always more than welcome to track me down. I don't have a Discord per se due to the ongoing ridiculousness that is my life. But the 15 speedrun has an SRC page. We have a Discord, and I've been trying to work on documentation outside of Discord because Discord is not documentation. And try and have I have tutorials for the run on YouTube. So if you ever have any questions about this game or honestly anything in general, feel free. I'm around.
Awesome.
I do need
everybody
to give...
go follow. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, go follow Kios. I need to give one huge shout out to them. It was 2017. I was enamored with Final Fantasy 15. And so I looked up a speedrun of it. And one of the things I found was Kios' submission to RPG Limit Break, which was the first time I heard about RPG Limit Break.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you
Butterfly
are
effect.
directly responsible for me being here right now.
I'm glad. That's why I do this.
I can't even imagine Limit Break without Ashen holding it all together.
Y'all did fine
so
before
cool.
I got here.
That's an awesome story. Yeah.
I'm glad to have been here.
Yeah.
I'm glad for you for being that catalyst for me.
That's honestly something I didn't really know. That's like actually super touching considering like, again, like now that I've kind of stepped more into not like a staff role, but like more of a direct help role with Limit Break and seeing like what people have done. Like it's weird to realize that I'm partly responsible for it with my janky game and flippant attitude.
Well, and then it was just the very next year when you didn't know me from Adam and you let me sit on your couch as well. So, it's been a good one all around.
Absolutely. Listen, passion, sometimes you have to do stuff because you need to make art. It doesn't matter if one person sees it or a million people see it, because you never know what the true effect of it is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think I could top anything that was just said. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching Random Encounter today with Kios, myself, and Ashen. So hope you all had a good time. And don't forget, RPG Limit Break coming up May 18th. It's right around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it. And make sure you get your registrations then at RPGLimitBreak.com. But until then, we'll see you next time on Random Encounter with some more awesome stuff. You've been wonderful, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.